What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com. Going to talk to you about Sunday night football between the Bears and the Packers. Before we get going, as always, please hit that subscribe button. We do appreciate the support of the channel here. Give us a thumbs up on this thing, and then also let us know in the comment section how you were going to be playing this game. And hopefully you have a better read of this thing really than I do from the direct side. Outside of that, do have a play on this rolling into this game. So we'll talk about that as well. Full written breakdown here at Sunday Night Football over at the Lines. You can see, just come up here to the Lines, click on the NFL and Week 12, and then SNF, and you're good to go. And this written breakdown will pop up. All right. So Bears 5-5, 5-5 against the spread. Net yards per play for this team, as you would imagine, way down at the bottom, 26th in the NFL. And that's not because of the defense being bad. It is because the offense is absolutely pathetic. The Packers 7-3, 6-4 against the spread. Net yards per play up at 9th in the league, as you would imagine. On the injury front here, guys, what we're really monitoring for the Bears, we know, even though Foles is doubtful, he's not starting. It's going to be Mitchell Trubisky for the Bears. Outside of that, defensive tackle Akeem Hicks is questionable. We won't know until 90 minutes before kickoff whether he's going to go or not, but that'd be a big loss for them on the defensive line if he is not able to go. On the Packers side of things, they just listed 6 different guys as questionable, and that's it. No real insight into whether these guys are going to go or not. Josh Jackson, Corey Linsley, Equanimeous St. Brown, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, and then Kevin King, all listed as questionable for the Packers in this game. Take a look at the lines here at DraftKings. We are sitting at 8 on the Packers at FanDuel, 8.5, but a juiced 8.5 if you wanted the Bears. And then over here at BetMGM, you're actually getting the 8.5 at normal juice. So if you were wanting the Bears, you would head over to BetMGM. If you were wanting the Packers, you would head over here to DraftKings. Bears offense has been terrible. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you that. It's been absolutely one of the worst in the entire league. If you look at their pass offense, DVOA, it's 28th overall. If you look at their rush offense, DVOA, it's 31st overall. They're dead last in rushing success rate. Third down conversions, dead last in the NFL. Yards per play, 31st in the NFL. And then the blocking hadn't been that all that great either. Pass blocking, according to Pro Football Focus, 30th. Run blocking, 22nd. So they're only averaging 78 yards a game rushing. That's dead last in the league. So, I mean, there's just a ton here to hate about this offense. They are making a switch to Trubisky, back to Trubisky. Will that be some sort of spark? I guess we'll see. Packers offense, they've been really good. I think if you've been watching this, you understand that. Their pass offense specifically, 3rd overall DVOA in the league. Their rush offense, 12th overall DVOA in the league. Yards per play, 3rd overall in the NFL. And then their blocking has really been helping out as well. Pro Football Focus grades them out. 5th best pass blocking unit, 8th best run blocking unit in the entire NFL. So we're talking about a very good team overall here. And I'll scroll down if you guys want to take a look and read along with what's going on here. On the defensive side of the ball, this is where things completely flip, right? Because as bad as the Bears are on offense, they are equally as good on defense. So if you take a look, I mean, pass defense DVOA, 3rd overall. They are top 5 unit in yards per pass attempt allowed. They are that good. Rush defense, 3rd overall. PFF agrees, 9th overall rush defense. Their pass rush is 5th overall in the league. Coverage grade, 8th. So as bad as they are on offense, they're equally as good on defense, which has kind of kept them in all these games, right? Like, which has made it to where no game really ever becomes an absolute blowout just because the defense is so stout that it's really tough to blow this team out. Packers defense, on the other hand, about middle of the road in just about everything. Maybe a little bit below average. Their pass defense DVOA 19th, rush defense DVOA 20th. They're actually giving up 157 yards a game to running backs, total yards. You know, that's passing and receiving. But backs have had really good success. Only problem is as we talked about, the Bears' backs and rush game and just the overall game using the running backs in general is one of the worst in the NFL, the worst in several of the statistical categories, right? So if you look at the Packers, rest of the, Pro Football Focus has their rush defense at 13th, has their coverage grade at 12th. So kind of like in that right in the middle-ish to upper middle range as far as the defense goes. Pass rush, though, down at 19th. They haven't been getting a ton of pressure on the quarterbacks, which should at least help Mitchell Trubisky out a little bit in his first start since week 3 in the NFL. So if we head over here, here's one of the interesting things that's going on. I like to talk props with you guys, but if you see here on DraftKings, nothing listed as of Sunday morning. We head over here to FanDuel. A little bit has been added over here on FanDuel, but not a ton. A full prop menu is actually over here on BetMGM, so they at least did do that. So we do have some props to look at over here at least. But DraftKings, I guess because we're looking at not officially having Trubisky listed as a starter yet, because they don't have to do that until right before game time. Maybe they're not going to come out with the props, but. So here's the biggest discrepancy, though. Look at FanDuel. Aaron Rodgers, 274 passing yards. We're over here at MGM, 296 passing yards. Guys, that's a 22-yard middle that you could hit if you wanted to do so. If not, I would just take the under on Aaron Rodgers at 296. Look, 300 yards and against this defense is just too much. He very well might do it, but he's not going to do it more times than he's not going to do it. And that's how we play these props, right? I mean, we do what the most likely outcome is. And the most likely outcome is him not throwing for 300 yards against this Bears defense. So we would take the under 296. But again, I mean, a 22-yard middle opportunity if you are so inclined between FanDuel and BetMGM on his passing yards. The other thing I think is pretty interesting here, if you take a look at Allen Robinson receiving 66.5, and then you come over here and we'll pop that down. Allen Robinson, you can see coming in at 65.5. That is dead on where my projections are. I rarely do these numbers come in just like dead on where they are. 65, 66, exactly where I have Allen Robinson in the 3 starts with Mr. Trubisky. He targeted Allen Robinson a lot. Mr. Trubisky's not very good though, right? So it wasn't equaling big games necessarily, but he's going to go at Allen Robinson a lot. So kind of right on where I am. If anything, I would play the over, but again, no real play for me there. Really, I just like the Aaron Rodgers passing yards. The other ones that are fairly interesting over here is these. You look at these micro numbers on some of these things and you just go like, man. But so for example, Mercedes Lewis is just not a part of the offense whatsoever. So this sitting at 5.5, it's like you don't want to play the under on a 5.5 receiving yard total, but it's a dude who literally has 1 catch every other game, and so it would be under or nothing on 5.5 yards. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just the way you got to play these things sometimes. Again, most likely outcomes in all of these. The only other one, and you see Mooney here at 33.5 yards and over here at 32.5, so we'd play it over here. So he's been getting targeted a lot, at least when Foles was under center. It hasn't really equaled a ton of production, but he has become the number 2 receiver there behind Allen Robinson. 32 yards, trying to get to 33, not really a ton to ask out of him. And so I do have a lean towards the over. That might actually end up in my account as well. And just assuming that some of these targets are going to finally end up into some production for Mooney. And listen, if you think this game is going to go south for the Bears and they're just going to have to throw a ton, well, then you would be on the over on this all day long, right? So something to think about there as well. Let's go back. So the total is at 44 here at FanDuel, at 44 over here on DraftKings, and then it is at 43.5 with a little bit of juice on the over here at BetMGM. Guys, if we make a case for the over, I mean, really just comes down to, and actually that's a juiced over at 120 right there. So we would come play the over here at FanDuel. Really the case for the over here is Aaron Rodgers figures out the cheat code and is able to get it done against this against this Bears defense. As good as his defense has been, Aaron Rodgers just becomes superhuman, and he gets the majority of the way there of the 44 on his own. Now, that's the problem, right? Is because you're really relying on the Packers to score a bunch of points to get the over in this game, because we know the Chicago Bears offense is not going to score a lot of points. Like, we know that for a fact. So when you look to play the over in this one, you're going to have a ton of faith in this Packers offense being able to attack this Bears defense, because we're not going to get 24 out of the Bears. It's just not going to happen. So the under is fairly simple, right? Packers score 27, Bears score 10, Bears score 13, Bears score 14, right? That's all unders. All those are unders right there. 27-14 is an under. 27-10 is an under. 24-17 is an under. So there's this Bears offense has been absolutely pathetic. The Bears defense has been amazing. So if you look at the under possibilities here, is the Bears defense continues to do what it's done all year, limit teams to a bunch of scoring, and then the Bears offense continues to do what it's done all year and not put the ball in the end zone very often. So the path to the under is kind of clear there as well as to how we would go about that. I told you that I had some things running into this one. I took the Packers in a teaser that is rolling into Packers minus 2.5. So it's actually better now. The hook is gone over here at DraftKings. So I have Packers minus 2.5 in a teaser. Guys, this feels very, very much like a one-score game to me. But I just trust the Packers, obviously, because offense ultimately trumps defense in the NFL. And I just trust the Packers a little bit more, which is why I have them in a teaser. If you were playing a same game teaser, which I know a lot of people like to do on these island games and stuff like that, I think it could play either way on the side and then go the under on the total. So if you wanted to take the Packers down to 2 because you have a little bit more confidence in the Packers, and then under 50, then that would be something I would do. But again, you're getting the Bears. You'd be getting the Bears up to, and that's where we would come over here and do it. At BetMGM maybe, or at FanDuel, whatever. FanDuel, you'd be getting them over 2 touchdowns, right? You add 6 to the 8.5, you're getting 14.5. So I honestly think this game, if you run this game, the simulation of this game, 1,000 times, does the score fall somewhere between the Packers winning by 3 and the Bears losing by 14.5? I think it falls somewhere in that way more times than not. So I don't think you can really go wrong either side, which way you just want to go, whatever makes you feel more comfortable, up to 14.5 or down to 2 if you're over here at the Packers. And then but on the total side of things, I just don't see a ton of points in this game. So I would always play the under as part of that same game teaser as well. If I had to play just a straight side, which I will not, but if I had to do that, I'd probably take the Bears at 8.5. Like I said, I feel like a one score game right here. The defense has been excellent all year long. And in a game with a total so low, the numbers tell you should be taking the underdog, right? Because it's saying that the game is not going to have a ton of points. And when you're getting this many points, it's basically screaming to you to take the 8.5, because there's only supposed to be 43 points scored in the game anyway, So that said, I do already have the teaser play in line, and maybe I'll add a same game teaser in this one as well. Whether I go the Packers or the Bears, since I'm already on the Packers in one teaser leg, maybe I would just go the Bears to kind of give myself peace of mind or something. But up over 2 touchdowns, the game, while the Packers might win this game, I don't think they're going to win by more than 2 touchdowns. So might come in on that side as well. Again, on the player props, though, huge opportunity if you have accounts both at FanDuel and MGM. And if you don't, just come over here to the lines, click on your state. So just go to US Sports Betting, click on your state, and be sure and get multiple accounts, because stuff like this just doesn't happen, very often, to where we're able to get a 22-yard middle on passing yardage. That's a ton, And again, I do lean to, and I do going to have a play on the under on Rodgers in this as well. Guys, full written breakdown over here at thelines.com. Really do appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Really hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate that. Thumbs up in the comments section. Not only let me know how you're going to bet this game, but guess the exact score of the game. If you get it right, we'll ship you an Amazon gift card. We're shipping out a couple already from a couple of games ago where someone got the correct score exactly right. So you have to type it in there. Packers 72, Bears 68, and put it in there exactly like that. And of course, it has to be done before game time gets going. And if you get it exactly right, we'll ship you a Amazon gift card. And of course, you have to be a subscriber on the channel. You have to have liked the video and all that stuff like that. Just doing some housekeeping and things like that. Guys, hopefully you enjoy the game. Don't know if this one's going to have a ton of action for me, to be honest with you. Kind of a bummer of a game with such a huge spread and likely to be low scoring. But hey, some of these games turn out to be really, really fun. Good luck on all your bets on Sunday Night Football.